You're still technically working. It's just you're working on painting minis. So hi everyone, it is Friday, which means it's time for another Paint and Slay here with Lauren and myself, Vee. Now, little trick. I just said it's Friday, but technically for us, it's Tuesday. This is a pre-recording.
Surprise, we're pre-recorded.
Hi from
we're
the past.
Speaking to you from the future. To the future. Wait, from the past.
Future past, yes.
There we go, yeah.
But anyways, we're doing a pre-recording because Lauren is going to be doing some things and stuff on Friday, which means I'm in the chat, so hi, I will talk to you through the chat. But for today, we are recording ahead of time, and we're going to be finishing up the, I want to say adorable, which seems kind of funny to say for an enlarged Duergar, but I want to call it
Duergars can be adorable. Why not?
We're going to finish up this adorable Duergar dude.
Yeah.
That's the plan. That is absolutely the plan. But before we get started with the painting, what is happening with the gaming, Lauren? That kind of worked out, sort of.
I like that we went in. I'm not going to be able to rhyme this. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not that person. I'm not Mark Mir. I can't just rhyme on the spot for anything. Well, first, what is going on Friday?
There's a lot.
There's a lot. Let's start with things that actually came out on Wednesday that you might have missed out on. The Spring Gathering is going on. Yay! So make sure you are going into your game and picking up those free chests. 7 free chests. You get an extra bonus fun thing. So all you got to do is log into the game, pick up that chest, and that free thing will be yours. So if you haven't done that yet today, now is a good time. Also, it is almost the weekend. And so we have, or it is the weekend, I guess. It's Friday afternoon.
Friday.
So it is the Dragon Rider weekend, which I'm just, I think is the best thing. Yeah. And I love just Solak in the back. Mm-hmm. Can I admit something? I love that Solak has this giant dragon that he rides on, because now Orhira isn't the largest thing with wings that has to end up in a piece of art. Because every time Orhira ends up in a piece of art, I feel bad, you know? And so one of these days, Solak and Orhira are going to be in the same thing, and the piece of art's going to... Yeah. They'll just be the background.
They will be the background, exactly.
Anyway, this is, make sure you go check your email for the weekend chest that you will be getting for free just for signing up for our newsletter. And then use these champions over here to get all of your stuff done that you need to get done this weekend, because they will have buffs. They will be buffed. Is there anything else?
Yeah, there's one more thing that's left, and that's something that we're doing every single Monday. We still have, take a look. Hey, look at here. It's going to be episode 4 for Fury of the Black Rose with Idle Champions Presents. You don't want to miss it. There's some pretty intense stuff happening, and we had something of a cliffhanger on Monday.
It's fine.
That was totally fine. Totally fine.
Absolutely,
nothing to worry
absolutely
about.
fine. There are still conscious players and people, so there you go. That's all that matters.
I know what my hit points were.
you know, for those that watched it live, B Dave at multiple points was like, this is going to be a little bit of deja vu for those of us who've been watching Idle Champions Presents for a while. And that's all I'm going to say to kind of
Yep.
avoid spoilers, because if you haven't seen it yet, it is up on our YouTube. Definitely check it out. It is an amazing game. The first half has some absolutely awesome role playing that's going on and some world building and a moment that proves once again that sometimes having a whole team full of DMs is kind of the best.
Yeah.
And then the second half gets ridiculous and also cliffhangery. So definitely go check that out on our YouTube.
Absolutely.
And then come by on Monday for episode 4, which I'm sure everybody will be fine.
Totally fine. Totally fine. Yeah.
I mean, Solak will be fine. Solak's going to be showing up absolutely fine. Like,
hi,
gone
everybody.
For a little while.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so we are at the point where we're still doing some of the finer detail work around this fellow and the bands around the tunic. So we're going to go in with Mike and its Spore. And we're going to do a little bit of dry brushing.
I mean, that too.
Dry brushing with Mike and its Spore, just sort of along the edges to bring those out a little bit more.
Okay.
Let me shift my light over. So that is the plan with Mike and its Spore. So little dry brush action on that.
And when you say the edges, you're talking specifically about like the lighter brown edging on the tunic kind of thing?
We're not going to do the part that has the more intense colors of green and blue. We're going to be doing the part that has simply the edge of the tunic where we did I believe that was leather brown from last week. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Now, one of the problems of doing this pre-recorded, oh, I shouldn't say problem, but I mean it kind of is we don't have chat.
No.
And chat is kind of the third person in this stream sometimes with just keeping up with chat. So I am sorry if those of you who are normally enjoying being in chat and asking questions and everything, I'm sure the other people in chat will be happy to answer, but we are not there.
Well, I will be there.
Oh, yes, you will be there.
I will be there. Lauren will not be there. So any questions for Lauren, that means you have to put them into reserve for the next episode of Paint
for next week. Yep.
Yeah.
As I will be traveling.
Uh-huh.
I will be unavailable at that time, but that's okay.
All right. I realized I have a little spot that didn't get hit, so I'm just going to quick touch up, and then I'll go around and do my Myconid Spore.
Myconid, yeah.
Myconid Spore. Now I have Mykonos in my head from Full House. Remember that?
I mean, that barely. I was actually, I watched Full House, but it was one of those things that was on that I never really actually enjoyed, but it was everybody else in my life was watching it, so I watched it.
Fair, yep.
Because it was harder to get away from that kind of thing when back in our day, that kind of water cooler. Did you see that last night?
Yeah, it was
thing.
A thing. Yeah.
It was the kind of thing in where, unlike streaming nowadays, and where if you've missed it, oh, I can catch up on the weekend, I can catch up here. Like, unless you videotaped it, unless you're one of those people who had a VCR, you just missed it. So as a child, I did end up watching stuff that I wasn't necessarily like a huge fan of. But it was like, well,
for the sake of being in the loop.
Yeah, like, okay, all my family's watching this, and or I'm gonna show up to school tomorrow and everybody's gonna be talking about this, so I'll just keep up so I can be cool.
There you go. See, I was one of the very uncool kids because there were certain shows my parents would not let me watch that other kids could watch. So I'd be the one. I had no idea. I had no idea. True story. I had no idea who or what the Simpsons were until I was almost to college. Like, I knew who they were by the time I got older, but I still had never watched an episode until I was in college.
I mean, it could be argued that is good parenting, of trying to be careful about what your child is watching. And while The Simpsons are not the most egregious thing that children could be watching, I am someone who does not currently or will ever have children of my own, so I say all of my opinions with grains of salt.
Mm-hmm. It was just really funny because then I get to watch it in college. I was kind of like, well, I can kind of see why when I was 10, maybe not the best thing.
Yeah.
But then after a while, I'm like, it's not that bad.
Yeah. It kind of depends on the episode, too.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I mean, also, Simpsons has run for so long that you could have still enjoyed watching newer episodes in college as it was coming out. And then even
And now we definitely know that little trick about The Simpsons.
Uh-huh.
Good Lord. It's not still going, is it?
I think it is.
Oh my God.
This is why not having the chat is the worst, because I would at
Oh,
this moment I would turn to chat and be like, chat?
hey, chat.
Is The Simpsons still going? I don't know.
I don't know.
I
All right,
wouldn't be
so
surprised if it is. I feel like if the Simpsons
probably is.
finally went off air, it would be
Mm-hmm.
a big enough deal in the entertainment industry that we would have heard about it.
True. This is very true. All right, so here we have just the slight dry brushing happening on the edges.
Yeah.
Doo-doo. I like as the more you get this guy covered, the more you start showing up on your camera.
I
It's
know,
like he
right?
does exist.
Yeah, like right now you can only see the bottom half of my Duergar. And slowly the upper half will be revealed.
He dare. He really dare. Okay, so then what we're going to do while that is drying, because I don't want to do the wash yet until that dries, don't ever put a wash on a freshly dry brushed area, because if it doesn't dry, it just becomes muddy and messy. We're going to go to straight up black, and we're going to paint the pauldrons with black.
Black.
That's black.
There's
I want
black.
No, that's good. Oh, come on. I just had black in my hand. Oh, that's why. I just had black in my hands and I put it on my desk.
There you go. Meanwhile, I'm going, nope, that's black wash. Nope, that's black pudding.
That's black pudding.
Nope, that's
displaceries.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's the black.
There we go. Black. Blackest black of the blacks, which is just
Okay.
black.
And you said the pauldrons, so the shoulder
Yes,
pieces?
the
Just
shoulder
straight
pieces.
black.
Just straight black. Because we're going to do a thing for the armor.
Ooh.
Something I always like to do with armor. Just going to go in. And the fun part is there's a couple of places where it's a little tricky to reach.
Yeah. And does this include like the ridges? Because this kind of armor has the ridge and the spikies.
Ruffles have ridges. This. You definitely want to get those.
Okay. I've gone to a slightly larger brush than my tiny detail brush, but I might go back to it just so that I don't accidentally get black on the arms.
Yeah, and the beard, because there are a couple points where the beard overlaps onto the one pauldron at least. I haven't gotten to the other side to speak to that, but you know.
Nope, just it's once again, it's the edging that is always the most delicate part. And it's really cool that this mini has those hard edges.
Yeah.
You know, because it's big enough that it almost adds to the, I know it is a mini that is a 3D mini in 3D space, but there's something about the edging that makes it even more 3D.
Yeah.
Nope, I'm not going to paint the beard black. It's not going to happen.
I see a white beard and I want to paint it black.
And I want to avoid painting it black. Nope, that's not going to work.
I see a white beard that you want to keep it black. How's that?
There you go.
This is going to be like next week all over again. Suddenly just songs randomly popping to my head because I hear a phrase.
I mean, you say that like it's not every week. It's fine.
Last week was heightened.
Well, and I feel like listening to music while you are mini painting is kind of a normal thing.
Oh, yeah. I'm actually excited. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so if I was doing this on my own, if I was just enjoying an afternoon of mini painting, I'd have some music on, or I'd have, a D&D game on. I'd have some sound on in the background.
Yeah, I always tend to have something going in the background when I'm just not instructional mini painting.
Yeah.
And this weekend, what I'm hoping to do, it depends on like the chores and stuff I need to get done around the house. What I'm hoping to do is snag a mini and then get the audio version of Tall Squall's book and start listening to that. Because it just went on podcast type of thing. And I'm like, nah, or audiobook rather, not podcast.
I saw. I'm excited.
Of the Vermilion Blade. I am very, very much wanting to listen in on that one.
Yeah, the only reason I'm gonna wait an extra couple of days on that is because I did read the book. So I definitely want to hear the audiobook, but I'm trying to catch up on a couple of other things that I haven't had any experience with yet that are
Yes,
brand new to
fair.
me. And it's like, oh, okay, I gotta catch up on this.
Yeah. So that's what my hopeful weekend plans are.
Yeah. Mine involve things I can't talk about as I am gone for the weekend. Actually, there is one thing I can talk about because it's been announced by now. And it is going to be live. So I'm going to be back on D4 on Sunday.
Whee!
And I say me and it's Orkira. And I don't just
Yeah.
mean I'm playing Orkira. So last year, one of the extra life stretch goals for D4 was if we reached it, which we, spoiler alert, we did, we would run a game of labyrinths and leviathans. And so it's not a D&D game. It is our characters playing a game called Labyrinths and Leviathans. So Seisha, who is played by Goblin Katie. Seisha is running a game of Labyrinths and Leviathans for a bunch of us, including Orkira. So the joke is that, Orkira is showing up, not me. Now we've done part 1 of this, and part 2 is going to be slightly different because we have a different grouping of the cast who can come. But so it's probably going to be different. So if you haven't seen part 1, don't worry. It's going to be completely different. Also, part 1 was ridiculous, as all Labyrinth and Leviathans games go. But that's what's going to be happening on Sunday. That's 4 p.m. Pacific. If you're in the game, if you're in Idle Champions, you'll get an alert that, hey, Orkira is playing. And it is me playing Orkira, who is playing a character.
That's tabletop inception.
Oh, yes. It was ridiculous fun the last time I did it. But it is one of those moments in where I'm very glad that Orkira's voice is very, very different than mine. So that way, essentially, Orkira's character voice could be completely different than hers, so I could keep all 3 apart.
Oh God, that's funny.
Yeah, and then making a character for Orkira is an interesting experience because I've never really made characters for other people, I guess is the correct way to put it. Like I've helped other people make characters, but I've always, been deferential to them. But this is my character making a character. Okay, what kind of character would Orkira want to play if she was playing a Labyrinths and Leviathans game? And
that's so funny.
It's if you ever want to really dig into the thoughts of your D&D character in a way that you never have before, what kind of character would your character play in a D&D game is an interesting one. And it led me down some very interesting paths, and I just got black all over this guy's arm, and I'm so upset. But I'm going to fix it.
You got it. You got it. You can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, these really are super textured. There's a lot going on in these pauldrons.
Come on.
I'm excited to see how the game in a game goes.
I am too. There's a couple people who played in the first one who are going to be there, and a couple of new people, and they're all wonderful players. I'm always excited to play with the D4 crew. And then this is just extra special fun. So I am very, very excited. And it is one of those very weird ways of playing. And then the extra fun thing is that happened when Beyond Heroes was still going on. One of the episodes of Beyond Heroes, in the middle of the episode, all of a sudden we were playing a version of D&D, and so our characters had to play characters. Now in that case, Briv, who was playing the DM, had pre-made characters for us to play, but I got to have fun with Orkira pulling out her Labyrinths and Leviathans character, being like, oh, I've already got a level 8 character that I can bring to the table.
I love it. I love it.
And then I got to have fun with Freely because last time it'll be different this time, I think. But last time when the question came up, okay, if Orkira was to play a character, who would she play? The only guidance she was given is, well, this is like a heroic game, so play a hero. So she made Freely in the game.
Oh, funny.
And so in Beyond Heroes, I got to show off to she got to show off to Freely, like, oh, here you are. I made you in a game.
Oh, that's sweet though.
It was. He was very, very touched, and it was a lot of fun. It was a very strangely
Very
Inception
cute.
moment.
Stuff like that I enjoy.
Yeah. And I got to come up with reasons why, all right, she's not going to pick Penelope because who can play Penelope? Penelope is just too adorable. She can never be that adorable. She's not going to pick Alindra because Alindra's way too smart. There's no way I can be smart enough for Alindra. Like, she had reasons why everybody else there was going to be a problem. And then Freely was just like, but wait a second. That's all Freely wants to do is be a hero. This is perfect.
That's sweet. I like that reasoning.
Yeah. Also gave me an excuse because we were level 8 characters to recreate Freely, who is a ridiculous multi-class.
Oh God, yes.
Which I don't hardly ever do.
I'll multi-class like one, maybe a two in there, but very rarely.
Yeah. I might have to switch to the tiny brush for this.
Yeah, there's this section that's happening underneath the hammer where I'm going to switch. I think I'm actually at one of my bent brushes, to be honest.
This is exactly where I am at, too. So, going to the smallest brush I got. Because trying to get in there is going to be a challenge.
Tricky. Let's see if this will work. If not, then I'm definitely going to go for just a small brush and a prayer.
All right, so if Voronika was going to play Labyrinths and Leviathans, what kind of character would she pick?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's see here. She would probably go for the opposite of who she is just for fun. So she would probably do like a very sweet and gregarious, I can see her going bard.
Bard, or like, because she is such a powerful spellcaster, go for a fighter or a monk or something if she wants to do the opposite.
She likes her spells too much. She would stick with her magic for sure. But I could see
a
her
completely
doing like a
different type of magic.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Just gave the dude a manicure with a black. Whoopsie.
Come on.
Let's see if I can catch that. So forewarning, folks, there are a couple of tight spots in here. Okay, cool. Got it.
Yeah, specifically under and around that
hand.
Yeah, the right arm that's holding the hammer.
Yeah. The bent brush is definitely working on my end. It helps for sure. As just poking.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of poking myself.
Pointillism,
I especially don't want to get on the armor because we put so much work into that armor.
Yeah. Alright, I think I'm going to switch to a little detail brush for that last bit of the corner. Go deal. Go deal. Hi, little lady. A tiny brush for me.
So hey, all of you at home, I can't see the chat, but V can. If your character was to play D&D, what character would your character make? Which is also just a fun thing to say. What character would your character make? Question. It's definitely a way to think about your D&D character in a very unique situation.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so those are now painted black on my end.
I'm almost done. I'm on the last little bit right in the corner.
That works. All right, so while that dries, I'm going to grab the umber wash. She says if she picks up something that is not umber wash. I know you're in here. Aren't Gotcha. Did I not pull out Overwash for myself? Watch, I didn't. Watch me, I didn't.
I mean, it happens.
It does. Luckily, handy dandy carrying case.
It is a very large collection of paints.
Sorry, camera people.
Easy to miss one.
Let's try.
Okay, I think I got it.
You got?
Yeah, I think I'm at the point in where if there is something that I've missed, it is well hidden enough that no one's going to see it.
Well, there
including
you go.
me. Oh.
All
right, you said Umber Wash?
Yes, Umber Wash, which for some reason I think mine may have been knocked over for some place or another.
Knocked over for some reason or another, cat.
Uh-huh. That's what I'm wondering. If a cat has absconded with my Umber Wash. So I'm actually going to go in with the Sepia Wash, which will still work. But just a little tiny droplet of that, and then we're going to apply it to those bands on the tunic. I'm with the band.
The things we were dry brushing before?
Starting, yep. So just apply it through here. Yoink.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we can talk about in the future.
In Futureland.
Yeah, so I mean, you and I know. You and I are constantly preparing for future things. So now thinking about future things that we could talk about.
Talk about Inception. Calendar Inception. My goodness. Uh-huh. That is a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we had all the cool stuff come out Wednesday. So we have like the 3 Dragonelle familiar packs are floating around the game. The green, red, and the white. Check those out if you haven't already, because it's cool stuff.
Yeah. And since it hasn't happened yet, but I'm talking from the future, I hope the D&D one-shot that I ran on Wednesday will go real well, and everyone will have had a lot of fun.
I can say this. I think the concept you're taking for this, so stinking adorable.
Aw. And that has been announced. Gosh. So that and of course at this point it is the future. So it
is the future.
They played the 3 Dragonelles that are available now in game.
Which because why not? Check it out. It's cute. But the artwork involved and everything too that you had.
Well, there's something. I mean, we didn't do this on purpose, but when 2 of your 3 players are professional artists, art happens. Art just appears.
Art just happens.
Like without asking, with anything. I just come to our group chat. And all of a sudden, Anita's like, "Look what I did," and Kat's like, "Look what I did." And I'm like, "Holy crap, these are amazing."
Okay.
Let me keep working on my adventure to be good enough for this art.
Oh, there it is. My Umber Wash just showed up.
I mean, now that you don't need it, that's why
I might need it later for all I work. I think I need it later. So hey, it's good. It still showed up.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna go to Stonewall Gray.
That's good.
And we're going to dry brush those pauldrons with some Stonewall Gray. Always shake your bottles if it's been a while. Actually, shake your bottles anyways, because you never know. Especially if you're using Goblin Green.
I've just gotten into the habit of shaking them all the time.
Yeah.
Just to be safe.
Yeah. I don't know. I've just found like Goblin Green does not want to play nicely with its pigments. Goblin Green truly is the goblin of paint. It just is a mess.
I wonder why it's that one in specific and no others. Like, I understand the concept of why they would separate a little bit, but the fact that that's the only one is weird.
It's like, it's gonna be blue, yellow, and brown all at the same time. So yeah, I'm gonna go in with Stonewall Gray and dry brush those pauldrons now.
And at least the gray, I don't have to worry quite so much about accidentally getting on the skin.
The gray will be a lot less noticeable.
Mm.
Doop, doop, doo, doop, doop, doo.
Oh, also, I was going to say, because we're closer to it now, not terribly closer, I am very happy that April Fool's Day is on a Saturday.
Oh, thank God.
Right?
Oh.
Yep. I mean, if that gives you kind of an idea of where both of our minds usually, like mine is usually about a month ahead. I think V is way more ahead than that, but I vacillate.
December. It's sad.
I have to keep an eye on everything throughout the year, but like the thing I need to focus on is the stuff I'm working on is usually a month to a month and a half ahead. And so yeah, seeing that April Fool's Day is on a Saturday, on a non-work day, was a relief in ways I cannot describe.
Oh, by the way, don't forget, folks, you have to spring forward this weekend.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. That I have a note for because I'm the person who takes care of the in-game alerts, and so I need to make sure that those happen at the right time.
See, your note that you shared helped me remember that was going to be a thing. I was like, oh yeah, that snuck up on me.
Yeah. I wonder if this will be the year they finally get rid of daylight savings. I know that happens every year. Every year someone brings it up and it's like, we should get rid of this. And then it's 2 weeks afterwards and everyone's forgotten about it.
Yep. Like, why was this not remedied? I thought we were going to take care of this.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to speak to a representative. Mm-hmm. Who do I complain to? I still like that. Did you see that quote that floats around every single time we have one of these daylight saving times things? Only certain people would think that cutting the top off a blanket and sewing it to the bottom would make the blanket longer. I'm like,
right.
Not wrong.
Right. And this is the hard one too, because this is the one where we lose an hour.
Lose the hour, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I just turned into a Wookiee there, but hey.
Wookiees hate daylight savings time. Fact.
Good to know. I like that. Okay, so we finished the tunic. That's completely done. We want this dry brushing to dry a little bit. Let me see here. I say we move on to the shield. So we're going to mix bone white with some dry rust, and we're going to paint that onto the center area of the shield here. So where you see that nicked up circle, that's where that's going to go. We're going to leave the edging something else. You can also get on the inside here. You can see it's also on the inside. So yeah. So bone white
that shield.
and dry rust. So basically beige and hold on. I think dry rust dry rust is like a nice chocolatey brown.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I think my dry rust has a plug.
Oh dears.
So this will be the second time on a stream that I'm going to have to go, excuse me, for a moment. Hold on.
Plug it in, plug it in.
Fortunately, I have push pins very close to my desk.
Yes. Always a good push pin to have around.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. And what are the amounts we are using?
I did dry rust is liquidy on my end.
It's liquidy on my end too.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I only did I did a pea-sized dollop of bone white, and I did 2 to 3 drops of the dry rust into it. But she'll get this sort of natural wood tone color almost to it. We're going in a direction. You'll see what happens as we start adding colors in. It's gonna make sense, yo.
It always does. I am reminded on a very regular basis. I'm reminded of moments during Bob Ross shows where Bob Ross is like, we're gonna do this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And there's a moment where you look at whatever he's doing and it looks perfect to my untrained eye. I'm like, that's great, you're done. And then Bob Ross goes, and now we're going to do this. and he starts to do something else. And there's that moment of, no, now what are you doing?
Why are you
and then
doing that?
and then he finishes it and you're like, oh, that's amazing. Nope, that's perfect. That's even better.
Yep.
And so I'm reminded of that every time an artist in any way, shape, or form is like, hey, trust me, this is gonna look good. I'm like, I trust you.
Well, thank you.
That's brush. Yeah, I guess I'll use that brush.
Okay, I'm gonna go for the smaller detail brush for behind the shield mode.
Oh yeah.
Because that ain't it, kid. I am not gonna try that with anything but a smaller brush. Come here, you.
I mean, I guess the good thing about this, the chocolate brown, the dry rust, yeah, dry rust being watery, is I didn't have to add any water to this to thin it out.
And that happens sometimes. There are just some paints that I know are notoriously going to be thinner after using them a couple times. It's just what it is. There's always fun angles. Okay, it's hammer in the way time.
It's hammer in the way time.
Yeah, as opposed to hammer time, it's hammer in the way time.
I love it. Oh my god, I love it. And now I have that song in my head, and I wish I could make it scan.
Yeah, just switch to Too Legit to Quit. It'll totally work.
I mean, yeah, it's the same song.
Or Addams Family.
Okay, now it's my turn to try to get behind the pauldrons. Behind the beard and behind the pauldrons.
Get thee behind me. Alright, but that takes care of the shield. Alright. Just making sure I'm rinsing out my little fine detail brush, because sometimes if you don't rinse out like the teeny tiny little brushes right when you're done using them, paint will dry so fast in those bristles, it's not funny.
Yeah.
So you gotta be careful with those little ones. Yeah. So definitely make sure you rinse it, and then I just reshape the tip so that can dry for me while I'm working on other things.
Okay.
No, you know who Voronika would play? I know who Voronika would play. She would play my other character, Scylla. Because Scylla comes off as a very dark and sinister creature. She's a changeling.
Yeah.
A changeling ranger. But she is the sweetest, most darling, most I will help you type of personality. That's who Voronika would play. Like, as a complete opposite to explore someone different. Yeah. That would be. Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. Yeah.
These two characters are interacting with each other right now because of the fact that I am every Saturday morning I play. We call ourselves the Chaos Monkeys. You might see us talking about it on Twitter.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be running a Koshmar game for them for the next, knowing how they play, probably right until I go up to the castle, which is great because I'm going to be doing it again at the castle too.
Yeah.
But my character Scylla is in that game. So what we do is we trade DMs every so often. So Yohanyo is just wrapping up DMing. So he's actually going to play Scylla, which means Scylla will get to meet Voronika in that game.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Be trippy for me as the person who created both characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, we're going to go with silver, and we're going to dry brush those pauldrons to give them the metallic look. And it's going to give it a slightly shifted tone from what we did with the chest armor and the gauntlets. So you'll see why I went straight up black as opposed to that lovely blue that we did like last time. It still will come off armor-esque, but you get a different tonality happening.
That's a little too much silver. There we go.
I just did the same thing. I like full on dunked the brush. I was like, no.
Yeah.
A little goes a very long way.
And I was thinking about how silver is so transparent in a way. So I think I was thinking I needed more than I actually did.
Right. When really you don't.
Mm-hmm.
No. necessa est. So you can see now how this one has more of a grayish blue undertone and this one has the darker tone.
Yeah.
So it just gives the armor a little bit more visual interest. They both come off translating as armor now. One just looks like it's made of a darker metal than the other.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. Fun things to think about when you're plotting out your armor colors.
Is this going to be the first time that you've had someone playing a character of yours? Someone else, I should say?
No, I've actually been in a couple games where we've had switcheroos where you have to play the other person's character. Or like, I don't remember the games, but I've done it in the past before, and it's been interesting seeing that.
Like
play
DM
out.
roulette or
Sort of,
actual...
sort of like
Okay.
player roulette is better, like, you know, roll the die and like switch the characters type of thing, and it was okay.
Okay.
But this is probably the longest. It was like for one shots.
Yeah.
This is going to be a true blue full throttle campaign where I get to watch one of my characters grow and develop with someone else. Now, I trust Eugenio implicitly. Very close dear friend of mine for years now. So I know he's not going to do anything that I wouldn't do with my character.
Yeah.
Knowing him, he'd be like, hey, is it cool if I do this? And I'll be like, yeah, go for it. So yeah, we shall see how it goes. It should be really fun.
It sounds fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what's next for this guy? Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, I would talk more about the game that I'm running, but I'm also using my friends as guinea pigs for the castle campaign, so I don't want to share what I'm doing in case someone is watching from the castle.
Yeah, exactly.
Should be fun, though. Okay, so we're going to let that dry, and now we're going to go in with... Hold on. We're going back to the shield. And Rust Monster on the edge. So this whole thing is going to be Rust Monster.
Okay, including
but
the
we
spikies.
didn't paint, including the spikies.
There's Rust Monster.
Do my paints just not want to play nice today? I have been looking at...
You got a plug too?
No, they're hiding on me today.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah. Okay, that's leather brown.
Yeah, I keep saying that I'm going to do this, and I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to try to remember before the end of the week. I'm going to reorganize all these prismatic paints and make it work. Because I was bad, and they're out of order. They're out of any order. Any order that you could think of that they should be in, they're not. So I need to reorganize them.
Oh, there it is. It's hiding on me. I found it.
Where was it hiding?
I put it back in the case, and I didn't think I did. Because I have like a little tray of all the paints we're going to use to one side of my little paint caddy.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's just living there. No, it wasn't.
No.
It was, in fact, not living there.
How dare you put it in the place that is supposed to be and not in the place that is supposed to be?
My paints aren't playing nice. Or rather, past me is not playing nice. One of the two.
Which is now future you? Oh,
I don't know. At this point, past... No, it would still be past me to past me. So,
but even paster me. Even further back me.
Oh my god. Oh my god, that's too funny to think about.
Timey-wimey stuff is fun.
How does Doctor Who do this? How do who?
Nope. This is why I don't like time travel. Or at least backwards time travel. I am not a fan of backwards time travel.
That's fair.
And the few times in where I've needed to play a character that people are going to be incredibly surprised by what I am playing, I've then gone for like wizards who control time. Because that is the last thing anyone ever expects of me, because I hate time travel.
That's interesting.
I can't get over, I mean, I have to and I can when it's in a D&D game that I'm playing in or something, but personally I have a hard time reconciling the the going back into the past and not having um paradoxes all over the place.
Fair. That's
And
fair.
yeah. And I try to suspend disbelief kinds of stuff, and I know a lot of this is just stories and
Mm-hmm.
everything, and but yeah, personally I am just not a fan, and I have avoided watching things specifically because there is time travel in it, and I'm like, well, but I don't want to be upset. This seems like it's a fine show if you can just enjoy time
Mm-hmm.
travel, and I can't, so I will not watch.
But at least you know that about yourself, you
Yeah,
know?
I just I have a hard time suspending my disbelief for it. That's one of the reasons I was actually very pleased with um Infinity War, because they made
Mm-hmm.
it very clear that this was not time travel, but hopping through the multiverse,
There you go.
which seems like a small change, but it's actually a huge deal because it means no one is traveling back in time. And if someone actually travels to a different multiverse that happens to be in what we would consider our past, it's still
Mm-hmm.
fine
Mm-hmm.
because you're not changing your own timeline.
Right.
There, that's my rant on time travel.
I'm here for it. I
Thank
followed
you
it.
for coming to my TED Talk.
Thanks for coming to my time travel TED Talk.
Yep. Time travel. This is why I hate it. But I don't want to be the person who poo-poos on other people's fun, because time travel, like many other things, is all about just suspending your
Disbelief. Yeah.
suspension of disbelief and the enjoyment of it happening,
Right.
like Doctor Who.
Yes. My only complaint about time travel is when we had a couple of movies come out where the woman ended up like falling in love, dating, marrying a guy who was able to travel through time, and it was like two movies about the same time. I couldn't tell you what the name of the movies were. I got
Yeah,
so dang confused.
yeah.
It's like, wait, didn't this like what's going on? I thought this is what happened in the movie, and then like find out later. Oh no, that was a different movie. Similar concept though.
Well, and it's there's a there's a term for it when movies come out at the same time or around the same time that have the same premise.
Mm-hmm.
And it's obvious that no, these one did not steal from the other or take inspiration from the other, because the
Parallel
length of
thinking.
time it
Yeah.
takes to make a movie, there's just no way.
Yeah.
So like all the disaster movies that came out that one summer
Right.
and things like that. So but then that that makes it difficult when you're trying to remember, wait, which movie was this one?
Right.
Which movie am I watching again?
So yeah, that's the only time I've had like personal issues with time travel related themes, when the two movies I just like I don't know which one I watched.
Yeah. And that's less about the time travel and more just about the movies being
Yeah.
distinct enough, I guess.
The thing was they weren't really distinct enough from each other. They were very similar the whole way through. I'm like, what
Mm.
happened?
Yeah.
How do?
Yeah, like I said, there's a term for that phenomenon, and I can't remember what it is.
I think
Chat's
it's
probably filled up with that
parallel
term.
thinking, I want to say is what that's called.
That sounds very, that sounds right to me. Or if it doesn't sound, if it's not right, it sounds like it could be right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
it
idea of
definitely
two.
happens.
Oh, yeah.
It absolutely happens. I mean, I remember I was playing around with a glue gun one day. This sounds so bad. I was making terrain. I was playing around with a glue gun one day, and I had the glue gun like drop a droplet of glue into my paint water,
Yeah.
and I went to my water, and the droplet had like frozen in mid drop shape, and I was like, "That's really cool." So then I took my glue gun, and I just started like putting glue into the water. Don't do
Yeah.
it. Uh, and then I realized, like, oh, wait, you can manipulate and shape hot glue by having it drizzled into cold water. And I created this whole tutorial on, like, how you can make different things doing this technique. Kid you not, the same week, someone else from a different crafting channel came out with a similar technique. We had not spoken to each other about this. It's just what happened.
It's just serendipity.
Yep. And we both had our stories as to how we came across this discovery on our own.
Yep. Well, it sounds like not just that, you both had different techniques for how to apply it. which is even better because then it's like, okay, well now
Yeah.
people have multiple options.
Oh yeah, made completely different things with the similar technique for freezing hot glue. Is what it boiled down to.
That's
It was
cool.
just so funny. It was like, what and how and why? How would this do? Totally bizarre, but definitely a
Yeah.
thing.
That summer, the summer that I'm thinking of where all the disaster movies came out all at once, because it was the one that I
Oh
remember
yeah.
the most, even though I can't remember the name of it, is the
Will
one.
Smith one?
No, not the Will Smith one. It. I'm not talking about the asteroid movies because that was a whole different summer where there were
Oh
two
yeah,
different
Armageddon. Yeah,
asteroids.
yep.
Yeah, this was like actual natural disaster. Hey, we've screwed up the planet kinds of stuff.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, and the reason I remember it so well is because I was living in Florida at the time, and the one of the things I was doing is I worked for a radio station, and I was their one of their movie reviewer people. So I
Mhm.
was on the list of, hey, go, here's a pass to go see this movie to for
Mhm.
review purposes. And so I got to see a whole bunch of really cool movies in advance, like the couple days before they came out. And then I also got to see some movies like, God, I can't remember what it's called, but there were the whole premise of it where there were these giant hurricanes that were all over the planet. And not only were they hurricanes that were destructive, but they were also freezing the planet at the same time. So if you
Ooh.
got caught in one of these hurricanes, like everybody just died. It the joke was it just flocked everything. Um, I gotta remember the name after we get off the show. But the thing that I remember the most about it was, so you spend an like third, like 75% of the movie dealing
Uh-huh.
with these awesome weather events that, like, okay, is the movie itself is not very good, but like looking at the tornadoes destroying LA and all of that, like that was objectively just visually cool.
Mhm.
And then it gets to what should be the climax of the movie. And the climax of the movie, the it introduces timber wolves because the protagonist and their friends are all in New York City, and the New York City zoo has been destroyed, and so the timber wolves that were in the New York City Zoo are now running rampant. And it's like, okay, you've got
Okay.
these massive weather events, these amazing visual spectacles of tsunamis and tornadoes and earthquakes, and then your climax is timber wolves. It was very anticlimactic. It was very bad.
Did they like smush two scripts together and didn't realize like half came from one and half was from the other?
No idea. It blew.
That.
It absolutely stunned me. Because that was the best thing about the movie was all of the weather effects, and then it was just like, but now, uh, animated
Now I ask
doggies.
questions. All right, so I'm done getting the rust monster around the edge, and we want this to dry completely because we're gonna dry brush this all over with bone white in just a second. So for
I'm
now,
almost done.
I'm gonna go and take leather brown and start painting the shaft of the hammer.
Okay,
Pretty
I'm almost
straightforward.
done. I'm on the
Yeah.
last spike.
Or question:
Oh, yes.
do you want the shaft to be wood or do you want it to be all metal? I tend to do
Ooh.
like wood with my hammers.
Um, well, I'm assuming the head of the hammer is going to be a big metal
Yeah,
thingy, right?
the pommel and the head will be metal, and the shaft I was treating it as wood in the middle because I think it kind of has a wooden texture to it.
Yeah, then I say let's go for wood, not just because I think
Okay.
you're right about the wooden texture, but there's so much metal around where
Yeah,
the shaft of the hammer is that it'll stand out a bit more
it will. Okay,
if it's
so
wood.
leather brown for the shaft is what we're gonna do.
Okay. I'm just doing a final look see for
Totally cool. No worries.
did I
I
get all the
understand.
things?
Get all the stuff. All the
Like
stuff
with
and things.
all spikes,
Sponsor,
making
sponsor.
sure that I got all the sides of the spikes
Fair.
is a is a challenge, but I think I did okay. Okay.
I'll go back with the smaller detail brush when I get between the hands.
All right, Leather Brown, where are you?
There you Welcome to my world. Where did that go?
All right, well, now I need to look this up. Okay.
The name of the movie?
Yeah.
Fair.
It's like 2001. Because I was in Florida at the time. The Day After Tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Wait, there were Timberwolves in that?
Yes.
Like, I remember not the intro stuff, the preview things having like the natural disaster things, but Timberwolves?
Yeah, CGI Timberwolves were the end bad guy. I just looked it up to make sure I was remembering the Timberwolves correctly. And literally what came up was production told American Humane that the scenes were filmed using real wolves, and then later in post-production, CG wolves were substituted. Trainer put the wolves inside the cages and stood off to the side while the animals acted naturally. So there you go, folks. Day After Tomorrow. Come for the tornadoes. Stay for the Timberwolves.
The heck you did?
This is what happens when chat's not here, is I have to look up things on the internet.
Oh, no.
Because it was going to bother me. It was going to bother me for the next hour.
That's fair. Gonna be... I totally understand that one. That's a bugaboo for sure.
Yeah. And I am not a movie...
oh my gosh.
I guess aficionado is the wrong word, but I'm not someone who has a huge knowledge of movies. So when I actually know something about a movie, I get really annoyed if I can't remember things.
Yeah, we have a couple of mutual friends who they know things off the top of their heads, and I just want to be like, how do you do this?
Yep. Well, Luke just consumes way more movies than I do. He is an actual movie aficionado. He enjoys any movie-going experience, and I don't think there's a genre he doesn't like.
Oh wow.
Or at least won't try. Like, I avoid horror because I know I can't. Well, yeah, he'll go see practically everything and anything, so he just has a wider range of knowledge, which is, it's good for him because it's something he enjoys. It's good for me because he goes off and sees a movie, and then he can come back and have fun telling me all about it and not have to worry about spoilers.
Well, there you go.
And I have vicariously enjoyed movies thanks to him that I never would have gone and seen myself. But because he went and saw it and enjoys telling me, I get a chance to enjoy it too. And it's one of the reasons our relationships work.
Well, there you go. And that was totally not me just accidentally getting the base of my mini holder attached to my camera again.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if the mic picked up the distinct boing sound that it makes when it happens.
I did not hear it, so either Zoom noise gated it, or it was faint enough that it didn't get picked up.
It boing. Boing.
I don't think it's half as good as the noise you're making right now. I think it probably wasn't nearly as amusing as you going boing.
Sounds like boing. It's also, my ear is right next to it, so I'm sure I'm hearing what's happening internally too.
Oh yeah.
There is a definitive boing.
I got a little on the hands. Okay. Trying to
I get you.
Be super careful.
I get it.
Come here, Brown. Come here, Brown. Brown.
Here, boy. Here, boy.
Brown. Come here.
Here, boy. Here, boy. Come here, Brown. Come here.
You know you don't want to do that.
Sit, stay, don't move. I mean, really, it's not
no,
wrong.
don't stay there. Don't stay. Okay, there we go.
Okay. And that takes care of the shaft on my end.
I've still got to get in between the hands with the shaft and the
fun.
the little tiny bit of the pommel.
Above the pommel, yeah. Alright, we're gonna let that dry and shift back over to bone white? Or was that Micah for? Hold on.
That's all right.
Bone white.
I'm still
Yep, bone white.
I'm still on a hammer.
Bone white. Hammer time.
Now that I'm seeing the brown on this, I'm happy we went for the wood.
Yeah. How many chucks could a woodchuck chuck? A woodchuck could chuck wood. I have no idea. Don't expect me to answer that one.
Hey, listen. Just because it isn't Friday doesn't mean that we aren't still later in the day.
This is
ready
true.
for a break.
We're even laterer in the day.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true. We're actually
later in the day when we're actually recording.
Uh-huh.
Normally we're wrapping up by now. Nope.
Yeah, you're even more at the end of your day than normal.
I really am. Yeah.
How did I get brown on the knuckles? How did that happen?
You got peanut butter on my chocolate. Got chocolate on my peanut butter.
I got brown on my knuckles.
Oh.
Did I get brown somewhere? All right, hold on. Come here.
Alrighty. I'm going to start dry brushing the shield with the bone white. And there is a lot of cool texture on here.
Okay. I don't know why I'm suddenly so nitpicky about this hammer, but I am. I'm just...
Well, it's a cool looking hammer.
It is, but...
It's meow meow.
I'm... All right, okay. I think it's just because we put so much work into getting the hands with all that the detail.
Yeah.
And the brown just shows up and looks, it's just very obviously like whoops paint.
Well, he could also just be a Duergar who's willing to get his hands dirty.
A dirty Duergar?
A dirty Duergar.
A Duergar?
A Duergar. We have way too much fun with this name.
Yeah. It's fun to say.
Dirty Duergar.
I mean, now, I think...
Yeah. You have that other one that you're also very good. Svirfneblin?
Svirfneblin.
Svirfneblin? There you go.
Svirfneblin. I had to practice that for a very long time for a character I was playing, but yes, Svirfneblin. The trick I've learned is getting the Zverf. If you remember Zverf, because Neblin is pretty easy. Zverf.
Svirfneblin.
I did a lot of Zverf. Because I was playing a character whose parent was a Svirfneblin. I'm like, I can't. I need to be able to say this.
Yeah.
Okay, you said bone white for the shield?
Bone white on the shield.
I mean, and it's okay if I mess up, every once in a while, but at least the vast majority of the time I need to nail this pronunciation because of course she would.
Smurfneblin.
Smurf.
That's how the hell, because it's the same reason why I say Sheboygan for Sheboygan.
Yeah. Yep.
Give me a word that's close to.
And it's not an easy word.
No.
Like, even with, I can't remember who is doing the reading on D&D Beyond, but even with the audio from D&D Beyond, of either Matt Mercer or Marissa Ray, or maybe it's might be Chris Perkins. I don't know who it is. I don't remember. But even with them saying it for me, it was still one of those, like, it was hard.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, yeah. And I think we also That's where the mic and its board came in. Okay. So that's
also, fortunately, you can just say deep gnome, and it works just as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. So that is the shield. We want that to dry, not drive. Don't want that shield driving. Unless you're driving it into something in an attack, then that's a completely different story. Hey, now. All right, now we're going to go back to Mike and its sport, and we're going to dry brush the shaft just a little bit with that.
The shaft of the hammer?
The hammer, yep.
Okay.
Just very lightly.
Well, that is time for a new paper towel.
Mike and its spore, where are you? Mike and it. No.
For a second in the distance, it sounds like you're saying Vicodin.
Vicodin. There we go.
Vicodin.
Like, is it that stressful?
There we go. I try to remember to put the paints down with the
Fair
title facing out, towards me to help. And yet still, I'm looking and there's a whole bunch that are just
They're
nope.
hiding. Okay. So that's all you need to do for the shaft. Just a little bit of the mic and its spore. Again, not to overpaint it, just to give it some textural interest. And then that should give us enough time to go back to hammered copper. And we'll paint the entire shield, we'll go over the entire shield with hammered copper. Again, another dry brush, but you can layer it on and build up on the color.
Hammered copper.
There we go.
Yeah. Hammered. Now we're really getting into hammer time.
Yeah. And this is going all over the shield, including
All
the
over the
spiky
shield.
bits?
Yep,
Awesome.
including the spiky bits.
I guess stretching. Okay.
Stretch. But this kind of creates a cool weathered looking shield of a, obviously not copper shield in terms of itself, but you know.
Yeah.
Copper shield would be rather ineffective.
Nope, wouldn't work too well.
No.
And this our Duergar is much smarter than that. Our Duergar knows what's up.
Yeah. At least one would hope.
Okay. This is definitely a much more It's not showing up quite as much as the last dry brushing, so I'm trying to be extra careful about not over brushing.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna kind of end up looking like this.
Yeah.
It's just a fun thing to do so you don't end up with a flat metallic color.
All right. Let's see what the camera can pick up now. Now that I've got paint almost everywhere.
Right.
Just missing a few
Except for the
places.
hammerhead.
And there we go.
Showing a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I still have to kind of
Little bit of
shield it to show off the
I
shield.
think because the shield has the metallic flare to it, so.
Yeah.
But that takes care of the shield.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, whack. We're going to the hammerhead.
Ah!
So the hammerhead and the pommel are going to get black pudding.
Black pudding. Oh, look, you're right up front.
I was going to say, I have picked this thing up far too many times today for it to run away. I know it was in there.
It's just funny how many similar types of words, the 3 different rusts, 3 different blacks.
Right? There's a lot going on.
Yeah, but they all definitely have their own undertones.
Yep, absolutely. And black pudding is a cooler tone than straight up black. Straight up, don't tell me, do you really want to love me forever?
Getting into the creases on this hammer is quite a challenge that I wasn't expecting to have.
Yeah, it kind of helps to do the creases first and then to move yourself out to the more surface area.
Yeah.
It's kind of how I treat this type of thing. Dang it.
I mean, it is awesome that it is this detailed.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got that song now?
Mm-hmm. God, I was obsessed with Paula Abdul as a little girl.
I mean, when we were growing up, she was
she was the thing.
And she put out some really cool music videos.
Yeah.
At a time in where music videos were a big thing.
Where music videos were mostly people singing while standing on top of cars, and for some reason there was like a bunch of wind and like Tool in the background.
Yeah. But she had an animated cat.
Yeah. What was his name? He actually had a name too.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember the cat's name.
Like Scat Cat or something like that. Dang it.
Right? To the Googles. Once again, yeah. We miss you, chat. We miss you very much.
You're very helpful.
Mm-hmm. That is a fun music video, too.
It is. It was.
That was also the age, back in my day, that was also the age in where big music stars like Michael Jackson would have their music videos premiere in prime time on like ABC.
Yeah, I remember that.
It'd be like, okay, watch this show, and then after this show, stick around because then we're gonna have
video. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I forgot about that, but yep, that was a thing. And what a thing it was. I totally forgot about that one.
I have a very distinct memory of...
Wasn't it like Van Halen had the song Right Now premiered with Pepsi?
Yep.
Because of Clear Pepsi?
I think so.
Wasn't that the marketing madooter that happened with those two?
I know that was a whole... Because it wasn't just, here's a music video for a new song. The music videos were always the artsy 12-minute long, this is a music video, but it also kind of is a movie, but it also kind of is an advertisement, but...
Yeah. And then, okay, so this is how my sweet summer child brain worked when I was younger.
Yeah.
I vividly remember Meatloaf having his Anything for Love video.
Yeah.
And then Celine Dion, it's all coming back to me now, having her video. And the two look so freaking much alike. I was like, they're dating and they purposely planned that to look like each other's videos. And like the one song is a reply to the other song.
I mean,
yep.
I don't, whether or not that's true, a lot of people do that. So thinking that, you're not wrong.
Yeah, I was just like, I guess I was conspiracy theory mode on those two. I don't know, but yeah.
I remember watching was the Michael Jackson, one of the Michael Jackson videos that premiered like 8 o'clock on prime time. And it was like, okay, this is a really cool music video. And then it went on to go do like the artsy fartsy thing of him, like you just said, standing on cars with wind, like destroying things for no reason whatsoever. And then it went back to the music video. Huh?
Wasn't that the Dirty Diana video?
Was it?
I think. That or Smooth Criminal.
Smooth Criminal, I think, was too early for
Too early.
this. Yeah, because this would have been late 80s.
Okay.
I just remember it being so incongruous from the video, from the music video part of it. Like
Right.
even my young brain at the time being like, why is he
What?
smashing cars? Like the music stopped and it was just him yelling on top of cars and then smashing their windows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know the yell. I don't even have
I
to do
do.
the yell. Everybody knows the Michael Jackson yell.
And the hee-hee.
I'd say it was a weird time, but you know what? It was just weird in a different
It was
way.
just, nights are just weird, yo.
It was just weird in a different way.
Oh, God. And
Our
it's
times
like,
are just as
oh.
weird.
The fact that some 90s fashion is coming back, and oh my God, there's this little girl who does TikTok. And she calls it back in the day or in olden times and stuff like that. And you remember those banana clips?
Uh-huh.
She was talking about in olden times, they used to wear these things. And it's like, I'm sorry, the what now?
Yeah, hey, listen.
Let me go get my horse and buggy and make sure it's hitched up to the post.
Uh-huh. I've just come to accept it.
I know. I know.
Or at least I try to come to accept it because I do not want to be, old person yells at cloud. I want to be the old person who is
Right.
very well aware that I be old and
Right.
maybe I won't keep up with everything, but I'm gonna try
Right.
not to be left behind and
Right.
know.
I am fully aware I am a more seasoned individual. I'm spicy, okay?
well seasoned. Think about it like a good cast iron pan. Like
Exactly.
like you're
It
a
gets
good
better.
cast iron pan. You're one that, is well seasoned.
Yes.
Okay. That's
There are
amazing.
just some things I'm like, it's not that long ago. Come on.
Yeah. Well, okay, wait. In fairness, banana
Mhm.
clips were early 90s, late 80s?
Yeah.
I mean, do the math.
I know. I can do the math. It's very easy math with my age. Still,
Still, yeah.
I don't think I'd call them olden times.
Back in the olden
Like,
times.
I would have understood a vintage hairstyle. Like, yep, totally vintage. Yes.
Yeah.
Fully admit vintage would fall into that category.
Yeah. We
But
are
olden
vintage.
Times? Wah. Wah.
Now,
Okay.
how many eras does this TikToker call olden times? Because maybe it's just the affectation and where anything that's past
Maybe.
10 years.
I don't know. I didn't stick around long enough to figure it out.
Nope.
Like olden time? No.
Moving to the next TikTok because
No.
I can't deal with being that old that it's in olden
Exactly.
times. I'm almost done. I'm just doing
No, it's totally cool.
bit right around the hammer.
Hammer time.
Ooh. Right around where the wood is.
Okay, well, we definitely want that hammer to dry, so we're going to start doing some Stonewall Gray on the base.
Hey, it's base time.
Cause we're all about that bass, no trouble. All about that bass. There it is. Do.
Oh God, I've lost the name. Is on the tip of my tongue. Oh shoot, there's a version of that song that I love, and now my brain doesn't want to come up with names for anything.
It's like, hey, we're painting. It must be Friday. Bye.
I wish I could blame it on it being Friday, but I can't. This is just my brain.
Oh.
But you know what? I know where to get it. Postmodern Jukebox.
Ooh.
Have you heard that group?
Oh, are they the acapella group?
They're not acapella, although they've done a couple acapella songs. They do.
Okay. So I'm probably thinking of the right group then.
Maybe, yeah. They do modern songs, but they do them in what would be considered vintage styles.
Right.
So like, as a Lindy Hop or as a, something from the 30s or the 40s. And they have a version of All About That Bass, which is kind of my favorite. Like, I like it more than the original. It's that good. It is so good. And Postmodern Jukebox just in general are amazing. So definitely check them out if you happen to be perusing the YouTubes.
think I know who you're talking about based on the description.
Yeah. And they've been around long enough that okay. You said Stonewall Gray for the base?
Stonewall Gray on the base.
Where are you, Stonewall Gray? Nope, you're silver. Nope, you're black. Nope, you're
Silver and gold.
Where's my Stonewall?
I don't know. See, the paints are taking walks today.
There you are. Okay. I am actually starting to run out of room on the paper plate.
Oh dear.
This is a first. I'm excited.
We've definitely used a lot of colors.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to water this down just a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I forgot to mention that. Sorry.
I kind of figured at this point with these paints, just in general,
Yeah.
it seems like they need a watering.
Mm-hmm. Plus, this is a highly textured piece of like slate stone almost.
Yeah, it's nice.
So it's good to have it thinned out so it goes into those little crevices a little bit more easily for you.
I might even grab a small detail brush to get around these boots.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make that life a little bit easier.
Yep, it's a thing.
How we doing? Oh, sheesh.
Yeah, we're moving along. We will wrap this up for sure, this episode. There's not too much more left.
I was just surprised with how much time has already passed and
right?
How quickly this last little bit is coming together. I shouldn't be. This happens on a regular basis.
Surprised, but not really surprised.
Yeah. It's like, I've done this show before. I should know how it works.
Yeah, you definitely crest into an area with the mini painting. We're like, oh, there's so much more left to go. And you're like, actually, not really.
When I think this session, more than any other, has involved me being a lot slower than I normally am at doing stuff because of trying to preserve
right working around
really
areas.
Straight lines and very delineated places where it would be obvious that, oh, you just painted this wrong, instead of oh, well, this just kind of naturally bleeds over.
Right.
And I don't know why this many more than others I've done that, but maybe it's a good thing. Maybe this is what I should be doing. So I just noticed I got some Stonewall Gray on my boot.
Ooh, no.
Just as I was saying that. I'm like, well, come here, boot. Come here, boot.
Well, once you get the base done, we want that to dry for sure because of all those little nooks and crannies. We'll move over to Ghoul Flesh, and we're going to dry brush the hammer and the pommel. To bring out
another time in where we're going to be dry brushing not flesh with a flesh color.
I know, right? Flesh. Is flesh.
Is flesh. There we go. Ghoul Flesh, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Where are you? Nope. No, you're a ghost. Nope.
Ghoul Flesh. Ah.
Aha.
Ah. Oh. Uh-oh.
What?
What
happened?
The bit came off of the top of my
Whoopsie. Okay, so just take a pair of pliers and you'll be able to pull that out, but just make sure you do that over a sink.
Yeah.
Because it can be a little messy, but you can, if you want to, you can dip the edge of your paintbrush into the side of the bottle.
Yep, that's what I'm gonna do, because I don't have any pliers nearby.
Oh my
goodness. There's enough in the cap that I can just grab some out of the cap, and that'll be plenty for dry brushing, but I've never had that happen before.
Yeah, it can happen sometimes, like if paint dries between the lid and the nozzle tip.
Yeah.
It's not unheard of.
Well, that'll be a project for later.
Yes, later over a sink. Highly recommend over a sink because I have had it just thinking I can just do it right here.
And you can. You absolutely can. The consequences are different.
Are far more steep. It's like, oh, well, there goes my O key on my keyboard because now it's just a splotch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so just something like that to bring out those details in the hammer.
Just gonna make sure
Don't
I
forget
get all...
to do the pommel. Get the pommel too.
Just get all the sides, every side.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what came in the mail for me today and I haven't opened it up yet? At least I think it's what came. That Mockman poster.
Ah,
where we had all the
nice.
champions that we shared in the 2022 holiday season.
It's such a cool poster.
Yes, I can't wait to open it up and figure out where I'm going to display it.
Yeah, ours came a little while ago, and we still need to buy a frame for it.
Mm-hmm. That's just
it is.
yeah.
It's
That's
not
nice.
an odd size, but it's not
No.
it's not 11 by 17. So.
No, it's like 18 by something or other, I believe.
Yeah. So we just got to get a frame for it.
Yeah. And then once
All
you're
right,
done with
what's
that, gunmetal, and you're going to dry brush over the same areas again, but with gunmetal.
All right.
And this will be, since we're doing slightly, not completely dry, it does like a nice little blend effect. But it gives the hammer its metallic appearance. See, now it's shiny like a metal.
Ah, shiny.
Shine bright like a diamond.
It's also helpful
Except
for
this is
the.
metal.
There was one place in where my dry brushing got a little too heavy-handed, so this is also helping fix that mistake.
Yeah, it will. But by doing these various little tricks to the metals, every metal has sort of a different look to it, which is what I like to do to keep interest going. It also keeps minis like this from looking too plasticky, because what I find is when you have all the metals looking very similar to one another, it then begins to translate into like, oh, this is just plastic made to look like metal.
Yeah.
But when you give the metals different undertones, it changes it up enough. Okay, yeah, I'm liking that. For the top, I just need to get the pommel of the handle. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Bloop, bloop.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that
I
fun?
love these metallic paints or
Yeah.
metallic like paints, or just any of the metal paints just really look real cool.
It's so metal. I'm liking that a lot. Fun times. Okay, that takes care of our hammer.
Okay.
And now we're gonna go into, let me see here. How's that base looking? Mine's looking dry. How's yours looking?
Mine's mostly dry. There's
Mostly
a
dry.
spot in between the
Okay.
legs that still is
you
working
want-
on it.
We can do a little bit of words are fun. Washing. Then, so take your black wash and do the pauldrons.
Black wash.
Just, I think this black wash is actually thin enough. I just double check it to be sure.
And there's not a lot needed for the pauldrons for sure.
Yeah, it's thin enough. So I'm just gonna go in, put that onto the pauldrons. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Get
I
that
just
going on
saw a
there.
bit that I got a little too excited in the dry brushing, and I got
Oops.
metal on this guy's arm.
Oh well.
Aww.
It's the sheen of sweat. How's that? He's glistening
Sir,
from his
sir,
efforts.
why is your hammer leaking? Why is your hammer coming off on your arm? Don't ask. Don't ask. It's okay.
This is fine. It's totally fine.
It's all fine.
We're good. We're totally good. Okay, so that takes care of the pauldrons. And my itchy nose.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to switch to Umber and get the shield. Because I put it in a safe place. I was like, I know I pulled the Umber Wash out again. And where did it go? I put it in a safe spot. I safe spotted it again.
Well, you put it in the place that you should have put it.
I did.
All right, Umber Wash, where'd you go?
Umber Wash. Need to move this one that I have to fix to a place and where I'm not going to be worried I'm going to knock it over every single time.
That's a good idea. Yep.
All right.
Yep. Man, the wind is picking up outside for some reason.
The atmospheric of finishing out our Duergar.
It's like, I need my mini to dry, but we don't need to bring the wind into this. My goodness.
The atmosphere is being like, here, let me help.
Like, I appreciate the offer to help, but really, I'm good. There we go. Ta-da!
Yay. I'm almost there.
Great. So then what we'll do is we'll jump over to Myconid Spore, and we'll do some dry brushing on the base to bring out more of that texture.
There we go. We're starting to get to the paints that are far enough back in the bunches of paints I got over here. And also, yeah, my paper plate. Yep.
Yeah,
that's a little runny.
Mine is definitely on a colorful end of things. Although I don't have the first round of colors from the first batch. Because that plate I ended up having to toss.
Oh yeah, this is a brand new plate for today. All right, let's see. Oh yeah, this is looking pretty dry.
Yeah. Just do this to start bringing out the texture. So we're going to start with Myconid Spore, and then we're going to jump into Elfic Flesh. So that's just going to help even further enhance the details on the base.
Which there is a lot of.
There are a lot of details going on here, yeah.
I think this is the most craggy of a base we've seen.
It's one of the more highly textured ones for sure, yeah.
It's also one of the ones that is very clearly, this is stone.
Yeah.
Like some of the other ones we've been able to be like, well, you know, this could be outside. This could be in grass. This could be here. But this is very clearly stone, shale.
Yep. That's what I was looking for, shale. That's the texture word I was looking for earlier. I was like, slate? What is that called?
I mean, slate works just as well. All right, in between the legs.
Yep. Bloop, 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 bloop. Look at it. Okay, and then we'll go right to Elfic Flesh.
Right to Elfic Flesh. Where are you? There you are.
And just a bloop of that, and same thing, you'll dry brush over the base, and that's really going to bring out those higher points as the lightest color.
No, paper towel, don't move. No.
Oh, it will. It will do exactly what you don't want it to.
No moving, no.
It's like challenge accepted.
Oh, we're so close to being done. Don't move.
Whee! Yeah, this is the type of texture I could spend way too much time on.
But it'll show all these nooks and crannies and details, right? It's just that good.
Yep. The more you layer up and do.
But the challenge is always, as always, is to stop before the painting starts.
Exactly.
Oh. That's a little hard when I'm trying to look between this feller's legs, trying to see how much more needs to be done over there. This is also the kind of detail that I just know for a fact is not going to show up on my camera, but will show up real well on the picture.
On the camera, yeah, it absolutely will. Absolutely will. Ooh.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, I think I gotta stop, or else I've reached.
Yeah, I'm gonna start painting if I don't stop soon. But you can see, definitely shows off.
Oh yeah, that looks super cool.
Yeah, isn't that fun? Okay, so now it's eye time.
Oh, I forgot about the eyes. Oh, jeez.
So, I mean, you can see obviously in our little sketch, they're kind of like these opalescent-esque kind of eye color-ish deals because, you know, if you see creatures that are in the deep or underground, everything like that, they get these very pearl-like eyes.
Yeah.
Right? So what we can do is you can take, if you want to, you can take some of that metallic agent and add that to, really, if you want to do like the ghost, what was it? The ghost one we just did on the ghost flesh?
Ghost gray?
Ghoul flesh. Sorry, the
ghoul
flesh. If you want to take the ghoul flesh and add a little bit of metallic to it, you could do that. I think I might just take some of the silver and the ghoul flesh together to create like this kind of a bluishy gray.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna go
I'll
for
join you on that. Where is my ghoul flesh though? Nope, you're elfic. Where are you, ghoul?
Come here, ghoul. Come here, girl. Come here, ghoul.
Oh, is this the one that?
Oh yeah, this is the one that burst open. Okay, well not.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That was the one you had some technical difficulties with. I forgot about that.
Yeah, this is the one that I gotta. Yeah, that's okay.
Where did?
I don't need very much.
Just a touch.
There. And.
Get that mixed together. And then you may want to use a toothpick if you so choose to dot those eyes.
Yep, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna toothpick this up.
Daughter go. There's my daughter. Not my child daughter, my lovely little
Dot. The daughter.
My daughter. My daughter. See, I think that one will work, yeah.
Alright.
Deadbags!
To the fuss.
Come here, Deadbags.
Oop. Sorry. If any of you heard that thunk, you did not. You did not hear a thunk.
I heard nothing. I heard nothing. Definitely saw nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I heard nothing too.
All right.
Fighting the angle a little bit. There we go. So the funny thing is, it's there. It's just hard to pick up because you get, there we go. There we go. You kind of get the glistening of the light on the eyes.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. There. See? Ta-dum. So that takes care of the eyes. And then we're going to do whooshes. The rest of the whooshes. Because we have the hammer to wash and the base to wash. Wash.
So much stuff to wash.
So much to wash. But we're gonna obviously do the hammer. I'm gonna do all in black, including the shaft, so it has a more weathered look to it, to the metal, not the metal, the wood. There it is. Telling you, this is the day my paints are taking walks.
Going for a walkabout.
Yep.
All right. Put you there. You said black wash?
Mm-hmm. For the hammer.
Black wash. Yep, this is officially the most full my plate has ever been. But it's kind of cool.
Nice. You should frame
So
that.
black wash
maybe.
on the hammer and
The hammer
where else?
and the shaft. For the
Okay.
hammer. All black wash. And then I'm gonna leave the base up to you. Whether
Okay.
you want to use the umber wash, basically a brown wash, or if you want to also do a black wash on it. That is totally your call.
That is a good question.
Artistic license.
I don't want to do the black wash. I feel like it would darken it just a little bit, and I kind of...
Okay.
I'm imagining that idea, and I like that more.
Then black wash it is.
And there, and there. And in between your fingers, and
The
hopefully not getting
fingies.
on your fingers.
Yeah, I'm liking that.
All right, and then the base.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-da-da-da. I just dipped into a wash. I don't even know what color I did. Brown. All right, so I'm going with the umber. Umber it is.
Doing 2 separate washes. That's okay.
Apparently, my tummy is hungry. I don't know if you just heard that grumble.
No, your microphone and or Zoom
Okay.
and or whatever is doing a very good job of noise gating all of the sounds that are not your voice, and I'm very
Cool.
impressed, actually.
Very cool. I will take that.
Yeah.
And a little bit more of the umber. Doo-ba-doo-doo.
Did I get everywhere? Yeah, I think I got everywhere. All right. Okay. All right.
This
Okay.
is
All right.
fun.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yucky, 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 yucky.
Pull this back just a little bit here. Let's
Yucky,
do.
yucky, yucky, yucky.
Let's do that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, now he's showing up a little bit more.
Yeah. Now he's showing up at all.
Now he's a little less white. Oh, white.
But yeah.
This is fun.
I love the
Yeah.
color that we got on this guy. I'm glad that
Me too.
we did colors.
Yeah, it just gives it a point of interest. But this is our Duergar.
Duergar.
Oh, except we have these little loopsies. That was the last bit. Whether you
Oh,
want to
yeah.
use silver or gunmetal, take your pick.
Let's see which one I grab first.
There you go. Let's see.
Gunmetal. That's what
Yeah,
I grabbed
going
first.
I'm going with gunmetal too because that one was still wet.
Also, yeah, the having it be against the blue, I think the darker color will work better.
Yeah.
Oh, we thought we were done, but then
Nope.
then the little
Almost
loopsies
done.
had to happen.
Little oopsie daisies. Little loopsie daisies. Little loopsies. Luckily, they don't take too long. It's just getting them painted up.
I wonder what those loops are actually for.
I think it's so you can hook things into them.
Like, is that how he actually carries around the hammer? And just
I hope not. That does not look strong enough for the hammer.
That's true.
You like a pickaxe and chisel?
Maybe.
type of action? I don't know. Doodly doodly doo. Hey, there we go. Now he's officially pulled together. There we go. Now it's everything now.
I'm almost done. I gotta finish out.
No. Oh, there's the buckle too. I knew there was more. That and the buckle. Buckle, buckle. Who's got a buckle?
So many details. Details never end.
Going silver on the buckle.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Oop. Hold on. I had a water droplet run down my paintbrush and spread my silver out a little bit more. Whoops. It's okay.
Okay.
There we go.
Gotta take a little bit of this gunmetal off of the belt that I just whoopsied.
Mm-hmm.
And whoopsie.
It's okay.
There we go.
There we go. That buckle.
And then you said silver on the buckle.
If you so choose, yep.
Oh yeah. I mean, let's get it all. Oops, sorry. Hair in the microphone.
Didn't hear it at all.
I'm just looking at yours. Okay. All right. I see what we're doing.
Yep.
I see how this is going to end up. I think.
I see.
I see. As we're in our literally last minute.
Uh-huh. This is our Duergar. Our Duergar dude.
Duergar.
Oh, whack. But yeah, I enjoyed the way the colors came out. This was fun. So yeah, hopefully, for those of you who are painting along with us, have also enjoyed getting this fellow pulled together and ready for action on the table or on display.
Yeah.
Don't forget, you can also catch the VODs of part 1 and part 2 of this up on our CNE YouTube channel. Check out the CNE Games YouTube channel to catch the previous episodes of Paint and Slay.
Yeah.
And then Lauren is wrapping things up. Don't forget, it's the weekend, which means it is time for the weekend buff. You can check out the Dragon Rider weekend and get yourself a free Dragon Claw chest for logging in and playing Idle Champions. And then that means we are also going to encourage you to check out the spring gathering that is happening too. Get some good fun stuff every day with that one too. Again, log in, Idle Champions, get that done, get her done. And
Get
then
it done.
we will see you Monday for Fury of the Black Rose episode.
Everything will be fine.
4. Everything's going to be totally fine. Nothing
Absolutely
to
fine.
worry about. Totally cool. B-Dave has it completely under control.
Mm-hmm. That, of everything that we just said, that might be actually the true statement.
the truth.
I have zero doubt that B-Dave has everything under control and that the players
Absolutely.
are excited. Whether everything
Yes.
is actually fine and we will be okay or not, that's a different question.
That's a different story. We'll find out on Monday, but for now it is Friday, which means have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you next Friday for our newest round of painting, which I'm trying to remember which one we're going to jump into doing.
Oh, let me look.
Is that
Because
the-
it's right here. We've probably
Is
already
that-
announced it. It should be on the Discord,
It should be in the
discord.gg
Discord,
slash
yes, yes. I
idle
wanna say it's the
champions.
Grum.
Duergar. Yeah. You know
I think
what?
it's
I
the
don't know.
Grung. I think
it might be the grung.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
the grung.
might be
So
the
we're gonna
grung.
jump and have some fun with grung. Fun with grung. Anyways, take care, everyone. Until later.
Bye.